So what you're seeing right now is a Castlevania fan game I found a while ago, and it's not even that old. It dates back to 2013. And I'm not really aware of the first Castlevania Hollow Knights, so I can't really tell you much about it. I mean, this was a pretty cool fan game. I mean, I am a sucker for old school Castlevania, so as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to try it myself. And yes, this uses a keyboard. And there's actually 3 save slots, but I usually do the game in one sitting anyway, so I'm not going to need them. But that is still pretty cool, that you can actually have save slots. I mean, the original Castlevania could have used that. And there's also 2 control types. You could go for modern, which gives you full air control, which is exactly what I picked because I like being able to control my character when he's in the air. One thing I generally don't like about Castlevania sometimes is the fact you're restricted to certain angles or just jumping straight up. I just want to see what classic would feel like, even though I'm probably going to play this on modern. Okay, let's turn this down a bit. So they show you a picture of the stage name, and you click to start. I want to see what this looks like. Classic. Wow, he falls pretty damn fast. Okay, sure you don't have full air control, but you can actually turn Simon around in midair. Well, he faces the other direction, but he can't actually change the direction of his jump. And you fall down pretty damn fast. It's like he's got cement shoes on. Sure, I could opt to play like this, but I'd rather not. So I think the only thing I can do if I just want to restart the game is just... I can pause it. I can meta-pause it is more like it. But I don't know how to actually reset the game without just closing the application entirely, so I will. Like, if you're gonna give me a choice to play with full air control, I will play with full air control! So let's actually do it for real this time. So you jump with up, this is kind of awkward. I mean, we're playing on a keyboard, it's not like we're playing on a controller with a D-pad, where this would be super awkward to do, or with a control stick. Pressing up to jump isn't too bad on a keyboard. With a D-pad, that would be a lot more annoying, though. Space to whip, X to throw a sub-weapon, control to pause if you have a need to pause. Which I highly doubt you will. So yeah, I can understand why this is called Deja Vu, already seen, because I've already seen a level like... because I've already seen levels like this numerous times. And interestingly enough, there's also a fork in the road, so you get to pick which way you want to go. I usually go down, but... what does it look like if I go up here? Okay, we'll see the knight that walks around. Usually they take 2 hits, but in this game they seem to take like 3. And these blocks break. And then they'll just turn into powder and fall. Oh, an axe. That's helpful against the first boss. So yeah, first boss is coming up shortly. I mean, the game is cool and all, controls are pretty good for the most part. Especially if you choose the modern setting, because you can control your jump in midair. Something I always want to do in a Castlevania game. But one thing that strikes me as kind of odd is how everything in the background is just much bigger than usual. Usually the background is not that big. And a really good thing I brought that axe, because that makes it super easy. And also, usually the axe does not fly that far up, like... in a normal Castlevania game, it will actually travel further to the right or left, depends on what direction you're facing. In this fan game, it seems to just fly almost like it's flying straight up. Which is really weird. And that ends up making the axe useless in most situations, actually. Like, sometimes the axe is just useless. Like, this thing is next to me, but I can barely get a hit in on it, because my axe just flies straight up. or something like that. And again, you can pick which way you want to go. I think I'll go up here. I mean, both ways eventually lead to the end of the stage where you have to fight it's the same boss anyway, so it doesn't change much which way you pick. I mean, either way we're gonna find spikes that can crush you if someone just touch you. And I'm probably gonna die unless I be careful. Oh! Oh, there was that piece of meat there. If I'd have gotten that, I would be able to live. And in this fan game, the Medusas are super fast. I mean, Simon walks like a normal human being, but these Medusas fly at you all piss and vinegar. I know, yeah. Sometimes when you get hit while you're in the air, you'll actually get stunned. Other times you won't. And now that we're done that, okay, here's another river. More fishmen. Even though I don't use up in my attack button to throw a sub-weapon, I still can't throw my sub-weapons while I duck, which is kind of unusual. I think the main reason you can never throw a sub-weapon while you're ducking in the first 3 Castlevania games is because you have to hold up to use a sub-weapon and down to duck. So pressing both up and down is kind of impossible. Now that we're out of that section, we're going to be fighting the Medusa shortly. As in the Medusa from Castlevania 1. In fact, this uses a lot of assets from Konami's first 3 NES Castlevania games, so definitely being based on those, you can see why I'm a fan of this. Yeah, even Simon's Quest has some good things. And those bright blue laser beams, if they hit you, they actually turn you to stone for a while, because Medusa can do that in Greek mythology. And that's stage 2. Stage 3, Tears of the Past, starts to get a little challenging, especially if you take the upper route. This stage can actually give you some help. This is where the knights get introduced as well. As in, like, the knights that throw the axes, I mean. Sometimes they're called axe armors. I don't know what kind of name axe armor is, but hey. These guys. You don't know what's annoying about them in this game? Sure, they take fewer hits than in the original Castlevanias, but your whip can't even interact with their axes. You can't deflect their axes with your whip, so you have to jump over them or duck them. Which is pretty annoying and can often work against you, considering these knights can throw an axe at either altitude. And not to mention there may be other enemies, so that just jumping around won't be so easy, like Medusa heads. So it would be really nice to be able to whip the axes in some certain cases, but you can't do that. Like here, we're gonna have Medusa heads flying at us. And now we're gonna have to... So you can see why I'd like to be able to whip the axes that the Axe Knight throws. Maybe also hit a Medusa at the same time. But I can't do that. And I'm out of holy water. And just so you know, ammo is actually handled a bit differently in this game. Probably because whoever made the fan game, Hollow on the Inside, figured that holy water is super powerful. In fact, I don't even find it's all that powerful in this fan game compared to the Castlevania titles that you'd see it in. Castlevanias 1 and 3, holy water, especially if you get the double or triple, is just broken. This game, not so much. I mean, holy water, I don't even think it stuns enemies in this fan game. And that's probably, like, the main reason why it was so overpowered in some of those Castlevania games. And, wow, that spike does 4 damage. And this bottom route in this stage is generally the easier one. Even with all these Medusas flying at you, I still find this to be like much easier route than the other one you can this fan game, you can actually throw your sub-weapons pretty quickly. The dagger's actually slightly better in this than the actual Castlevania games that you can get a dagger in. Like Castlevania 1 and 3 especially, the dagger is just awful compared to some of your other possible choices for a sub-weapon. Considering it's also the only sub-weapon that if it hits a cannon, it just disappears entirely. Not to mention the small weapons, so if you're trying to hit a small target that moves around real quickly, then your dagger's not going to be good at doing that at all. For example, using a dagger on a Medusa head is generally a bad idea. And daggers are probably like the weakest sub-weapon, and... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Okay, he was just invisible. I somehow made the doppelganger boss invisible. I thought he just vanished entirely. Stage 4, That Which Rusts All Swords. So we got the music from the Swamp level in Castlevania 3 playing in this Castle Hall level. And I see that the author came up with some few original ideas to throw into this fan game, along with a bunch of Konami stuff. So yeah, some of the statues will come to life. Then there's this part that's real annoying. If you're not quick enough, you will have to wait for this spike to rise back up so you can go under it without it hitting you. And there's acid drops that fall from the ceiling that just dissolve blocks that they touch. If you get really unlucky, the entire platform that you have to wait with will pretty much dissolve before you can get a chance to go under the spikes. So yeah, you might just lose your platform before you can even get under the spikes if you're unlucky. Which is really unfair. Really should have thought about that before you did it that way. Like, if you're forcing the player to wait, don't put a bunch of acid drops that could just completely eradicate the platform they have to stand on. Or maybe give them more blocks to work with. So it's less likely they're gonna get fucked over by that RNG or... luck. I gotta call it what it is, it's luck. I gotta tell a story with my words. Really, you just gotta be careful to go under these spikes. The third set of spikes here, you just inch forward and crouch so they don't hit you. I could take the axe, but I like having the boomerang. Even though in this game, boomerang throw takes up 2 hearts. And also, a holy water throw in this game takes up 3 hearts. Daggers and axes both like take up holy water. So I'm guessing, yeah, as I said earlier, I figured the author tried to balance out the sub-weapons. Even though holy water in this game isn't even all that good. Boomerangs are still really good. So they're worth the 2 hearts. The holy water isn't really worth 3 each time. Doesn't stun enemies in this game, so, like, that was probably why the holy water was the most powerful sub-weapon in several of the Castlevania games it was in. And now you've taken away its most powerful feature. And now you make me pay 3 hearts to use 1 each time. And I gotta be careful or I'm gonna have to redo quite a bit of boss fights. You gotta kill 2 forms of death. And I forgot to mention that, holy shit, this skull got way bigger than I last remembered it. I never remembered it being that big, but here we are. Stage 5, Revelations. And no, this is not a book in the Bible. It's just another of these levels. With, yay, Aquarius! Probably one of the best songs in the Castlevania series. Well, at least the old school Castlevania games, because there's probably a lot of stuff that I missed out on. Because there's probably a lot of stuff that I miss out on in newer games. I mean, I have to try at least one of those Metroidvanias before I die. I mean, they are generally very well received, so I definitely have to take a look at least one of those before I die. For Preferably by the end of this year would be nice. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I still have my Game Boy Advance emulator, so I might get one of the Game Boy Advance games. And I'm dead. While I forgot to mention that there's these orange knights that weren't in any of the Castlevania games I recall. And they throw axes at 2 different altitudes both next to each other, except the bottom axe always comes first. Actually, no, the top axe comes first always. And then shortly after it throws the bottom axe. So duck as soon as you see the first axe, then as soon as it's passed over your head, jump. These things take 12 hits each, so just keep on whipping. And you gotta keep on moving towards him, because he just backs up you to get closer to him. And yeah, it just feels awkward to see the background way bigger than usual. Oh right, those fall. Did I hear an echo? Because I think I did. Yeah, the background graphics are 2 times bigger than I think they should be. It just looks kind of funny. I don't know what else to say. And now we're gonna get to some of the really annoying stuff, but this is right before the final fight with Dracula, so I fucked up. I was pretty satisfied with this fan game overall. Sure, it's missing some of the other Castlevania features. Sure, there's many things that it lacks. I mean, you don't ever get the pocket watch. You can't upgrade your sub-weapons with double or triple shots, but for what it is, it's still an amazing fan game. And if you're a fan of old school Castlevania, by all means, you should check it out. It's worth looking at. Especially because I feel like we don't get enough old school Castlevania these days. In fact, we don't even get enough Castlevania, period, these days. And here we are, toughest jump in the game. Because you can actually hit your head on these stairs, and that can mess up your jump and cause you to fall. It is much harder than it looks to do that. Believe me. And then there's just one more knight to take out. I think I can actually use the daggers on it. I don't know if they're actually as strong as the whip. Probably not. Not that much weaker either, huh? I mean, considering you could throw them very fast, daggers are alright. And oh yeah, this is where that everything in the background is super big starts to kick in. Like, what gives? This just feels odd. Makes you think Dracula is actually going to be way bigger than it really is. Makes you think Dracula's a giant or something, or an ogre, but he isn't. He's just your ordinary vampire who wants to create a bad world filled with evil. And I gotta be careful so he doesn't kill me. Oh, there's this cool attack. Like, if you were watching carefully enough and you took the time to notice, like, he actually does his attack from Castlevania 1, which is shooting 3-way fire. In Castlevania 3, he made 2 pillars of fire appear and made a 3rd one appear where you were standing. Like, if you got too close to him, the smaller 2 pillars of fire would trap you, so you're pretty much guaranteed to take a hit. Unless you were a Gran Alucard. There's this attack that he shoots a bunch of bats at you that I never saw before in this fan game. Makes a lot of sense though, and now I think of it, it probably did get used in newer Castlevania games I'm not aware of. Which is probably like everything past Castlevania 4. So yeah, second form is very much like what you'd see in Castlevania 3. Then we get this. The axe slightly differently from what you'd see in Castlevania 3. Well, you don't have to just wait for the platforms to collide so you can hit his head. Sure, you still gotta hit his head, but you're not riding on platforms and waiting for the opportunity to do so. So you really don't need the battle axe all that badly compared to Castlevania 3, where the battle axe is pretty much like a godsend in the third form. Because it pretty much negates the need of you having to ride platforms. And I might be in trouble. Once you get into like 7 points of health, he starts shooting more attacks at you, making him that much tougher to dodge. Which is why I actually like to save my boomerangs for this part of the fight. That way you have less stuff to dodge. So just save your boomerangs for the second half of the fight, because that is way harder than the first half. And that's Castlevania Hollow Knights 2 for you by hollowonthe1nside. So what else can I say? I really like this fan game. Mainly because I like the old school Castlevania games. I liked them when I was 7 or 8. I still play them to this day. And that's how I eventually found this. However, having been mostly assembled by only one person, this fan game falls short just when you compare it to the other official Konami titles that were on the NES. But for what this is, for this being a fan game, this is still really good. Even though it's not on par with the official titles, this is still a more than worthy addition to my Castlevania collection. And it'll probably also be a more than worthy addition to yours too if you ever feel like building one.